Welcome to the Solar Energy Channel, where you'll get an honest, inside look at all things solar. I'm Warren.
And I'm Larry.
And in this video, we're going to talk about the best solar panels in 2023. So Larry, what are some of the things to consider when selecting a solar panel?
So I feel like here at Paradise we have a really good, robust selection process for the brands that we use. But there's a couple things that customers should be thinking about. One is aesthetics. Do I want a solar panel that's all black, for example, that's going to look really sharp on the roof? Or maybe I don't care. Maybe I just want the cheapest, the most cost-effective thing out there. And the other thing is how well do the panels perform? How efficient are they? How efficiently do they use the space? Because we tend to use solar panels that provide the best return. But a customer might say, I really want to get as much as I can out of that roof, even if it's going to cost me more. So those are some of the things that a customer should be thinking about in the selection process.
And then let's talk a little bit about how we as a company select the solar panels that we're going to use.
So of course, one thing is price. That's always important, but it's not all important.
Right.
So it's an item that we think about. An even bigger thing is how long has the company been around?
Yep.
Are they making a profit? Are they going to be able to backstop their warranties long term? Are they U.S. based, or are they from Southeast Asia or from Europe? Where do they come from? Where are they located? One of our concerns with some Chinese manufacturers, at least in the past, is they've been propped up by the Chinese government. And so we want to be careful how we select companies that we work with in relation to that. And then also, where do they make the solar panels? Do they make them here in the U.S.? Are they all overseas? Are they thinking about making solar panels here in the U.S. at some point? And then, of course, warranties, aesthetics, performance, those are all things that we really scrutinize as well.
Yeah. Over the last couple of years, just like everything else, we've seen supply chain disruptions, manufacturing disruptions, shipping disruptions. What's the state of the solar panel manufacturing right now?
Yeah, so that's actually a big part of our current selection process that I didn't even talk about. But a company that we work with needs to have supply of products. Right now, as it stands here in early 2023, supply is pretty good. We had some real challenges over the last, let's say, year to year and a half, where we had to purchase some product ahead of time to make sure we had enough. Right now, supply of solar panels is pretty good, and I see that continuing. I think one of the big challenges that we're going to see over the next year and a half is, can domestic production come online fast enough to meet the demand for domestic products? So that's something that we'll have to keep an eye on.
All right, Larry, so let's talk about some of the brands that we use here at Paradise and why we selected those brands.
So one of the main brands that we currently use is Hanwha Q-Cells.
Yep.
They're from South Korea. They've been in the news lately because they're building a massive facility here in the U.S. to manufacture, really to do the whole supply chain of solar panels in the U.S. They're committed to the U.S. market. So we're really, really excited about Hanwha Q-Cells. Another company we've used a lot in the past is Axitec. What we don't like about them is they're a German company, which is great, but they're kind of moving into more of the utility scale space and out of the small commercial space. So we selected SEG, which is a U.S.-based company. Currently, they're doing all of their manufacturing overseas, but they're planning to do some manufacturing in the U.S. in the future. We selected them to kind of replace Axitec for now because they kind of fit that mid-range cost. Maybe not quite as expensive, but still a U.S.-based company that's planning to move production to the U.S. We've also used a lot of Silfab. They're a North American company. They're looking to do domestic manufacturing, I believe, at some point as well. Great product. And then we've used a little bit of REC. They're more of a higher end, very efficient, but then higher cost product. So that's kind of a rare product for us to use.
Yeah, that's great. And I'll also add that the Hanwha Q-Cells already have manufacturing here. So not only the building, they have been historically producing panels here in the United States.
That's right, yeah.
So Larry, if someone's considering one of these 5 panels for their home, what are some of the similarities and what are some of the differences between the 5 panels?
That's an interesting question because this has really changed over the last even year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, where solar panel manufacturers, they produce a different brand, maybe a little bit different wattage, but they've all kind of coalesced under pretty much the same thing when it comes to warranties, aesthetics, even performance, temperature coefficients, and really kind of the whole thing top to bottom. I would say this. I would say Axitec and SEG are basically identical.
Okay.
They're going to be a little bit cheaper. They're maybe not going to be quite as efficient in use of space. And then I would group Hanwha and Silfab together. They're going to be a little bit more expensive, but then they're going to have more manufacturing in the U.S. or North America. They might be a little bit more efficient. And then REC is kind of like the very top tier, very high efficiency, high performance, but then significantly more expensive.
When it comes to picking a solar panel, there are many variables that are important. Aesthetics, there's the available space that you have for those solar panels, and then of course the company behind it. Are they going to be around to fill those warranty claims in 25 years from now? And where are they made? Is there availability or any supply chain issues from those solar panels? If you have a favorite solar panel that you like, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear about it. Or if you have panels that you've used that you just are not happy with, let us know. We'd love to know about that as well. We hope you found this valuable, and thanks for watching.